Today's video, I am going to be showing you all one dashboard you will need as a Scrum Master, basically to track the whole progress of your team in a sprint. And the purpose of this dashboard is basically whereby you can click one click where you will have your burn-down chart, look at your health gadgets, see how the team is doing. The goal is for me to use this dashboard whereby to be the only dashboard you will need as a Scrum Master to track the progress of your sprint. Welcome back to Aisha Scrum platform. I am very happy to have you all today. And in my video, if you missed my last video where I showed you all how to create a dashboard, look back on my Jira playlist drive. I showed simple step on how to create a dashboard. Currently, you are viewing the dashboard I've created from the past on my past videos. But today's goal is for me to show you how to add all of this. And if you've been finding my content valuable, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. And also, please have your notification bell on. So whenever I have any new videos, you'll be alerted for. So looking at my board, we have the dashboard in front of me. But before we can even add anything in the dashboard or basically track our progress in our team during a particular sprint, we will always first create a Jira queries, right? So Jira queries, and that's something I'm going to show you all how to do. And I've shown you all that in my last video. I did a basic JQL search. I've also, in my last dashboard video, in the advanced JQL, I showed you how to create for a particular sprint. So my goal is to use that previous JQL I created for a sprint that was open, right? That's what I showed in the last video. And use that open sprint to add it in my dashboard, different kind of metrics we're going to be using. And by the way, I know I've showed one way on how you can basically create a queries. So I'm going to use this opportunity to show you how to create queries for your particular sprint, right? For one sprint using the basic JQL. I know for some people, they find the advanced a little bit difficult, but like I was saying in that video, it's not. So for us to go to that, I'll first have to go to all my filters. And maybe at work in yours, it might be all issues, right? And under there, you might see all issues under the field under issues. I know mine, my own Jira home board, it's showing filters, but maybe for you all at work, it might be issues. And let me just go to view all filter. So I can go back to the my query view. These are all the previous filters I've already created. This is my last filter I created, the Aisha Tech Sprint. And that's from my last video that I created it. I just want to show you all another different way to create this. And if you all recall, this was my current active sprint board, right? So the goal for me today is to show you how to create about your current sprint that's open at work, where you can use that sprint that's open to have it added to your dashboard. So you can create like a dashboard full of metrics, you know. So this was my old one. I showed you how to create that. So now let me show you how to use the basic search, which I think can be very simple for a lot of people that are not so comfortable with Jira. Search, so I can get all of my issues. So this is all the issues I have currently in my project. So for me to do that, I have to switch it back to basic JQL. So now that I've switched this back to the basic JQL, so my goal now is to create a queries for my open sprints, my current sprints. And for me to do that, I will just ensure that in this project site, it's highlighted my own project. In your own case at work, it would be your current project in your Jira board, how it's called. And if you have a team, you have to ensure that you also choose the team, because that's very important. If not, you have the whole project queries if you are connected to multiple boards. So Aisha Scrum is the project. And currently what I want in this sprint that's open, I want all issues, right? All type. I've showed you all how to do this. And the status, I want everything in status. And assignee, I want everything there. So then I go to more, when I click on more and I hit sprint. So I'm going to click on sprint. And it's going to ask me what sprint I want. I want my current sprint that's open. It says active sprints. And for your own tool at work, it's going to say the same thing. So my goal is to show my current active sprint. So I hit save. And when I hit save, it does the same thing from the previous one that says open. I just want to show people like a basic one to do. So now I have all my sprint stuff. So I'm going to hit save as. Save. So it's telling me that it's already saved it to Aisha Tech Sprint, has been successfully been saved. So I'm going to be using these queries to add now to my dashboard. So that it's very important to know that you first create a queries or like a specific filter for the sprint before you can add that to the dashboard. If not, you will see why when I show you what I meant by that. All right, so now that I have my queries and it's already saved, and you must save it if you don't know how to do all of this, look back at my previous videos that I did about JQL. You'll see all those basic steps on how to do it all one step by step. All right, so then I go to dashboard and I'm going to go to Aisha Scrum Dashboard, because that's the dashboard I created from my previous videos. So let this load. Currently it's telling me my dashboard is empty, which is what I want, right? I want this dashboard to be empty. Maybe I have to put my camera down. I want this dashboard to be empty so that I can able to add the metrics that I want, so I can use it to track the progress of my teamwork. So for me to do that, I'm going to hit the edits, the dashboard, and I showed you all this already in my past videos. But in this case, I'll choose the layouts. I can either choose one or two. I choose the 2 column because I plan to add more stuff on this layout. So the metrics I plan to add here is sprints. You can search this. You can load all gadgets because you have to load all of them. You load all the gadgets and then you now write this sprint. As soon as you type sprint, it gives you these three gadgets you can use like a metrics. One of them that I like to add is days remaining in the sprint. That's one of them that it's very important. And sprint burn down chart, so I can just have it all in one place. And we all know that we can also do this in the report side, right? But I want all of it all in one place. So in the morning, when I'm giving a quick review on where we stand as a team, I'll just have to click on dashboard and it shows me everything. And sprint health gadgets, So the first thing I'm going to do is to add the days in the sprint. So as soon as I add it, it shows on this side, and it's asking me days remaining in the sprint. It's asking me what board do I want. It's asking me about all my other boards I have. So I'm going to be choosing my current board, AIS board, which is Aisha Scrum board, which is my current board that I want to show how many days remaining in this current sprint. And it's asking me what I want to show this board name. Yes, I want to show the board name. Show the sprint name. Yes, I want to show the sprint name. So the sprint that I want, it's this current active sprint. So it's very important for you to be very specific with what you're choosing in the option. I know sometimes at work, there's a lot of other projects or there's a lot of other board. So it's very important for you to ensure that you have the right board. That's very important. And also the sprint, you're putting on the right sprint also for this current board. Because if you choose the right board, then automatically it's going to show you a list of sprints, and then you now choose the sprint. And one thing that I like too about Jira that makes things so simple and easy is about this auto refresh, meaning that with any changes that's happening in your board live, we can click on this update every 15 minutes so we can automatically update our board, which is what we want, right? Like every given point, every given time, we can see all the little minor changes that's happening in our active Scrum board. And if you've been finding my content valuable, please like and subscribe to this channel, and also share my videos if it's been so valuable to you, to other Scrum Masters. And if you're interested in mentorship, do not hesitate to call me at 484-767-1979. And also you can email me at admin@aishascrumtech.com. All right, so now that we have everything selected, the right board name, I want my board name to be shown, I want the sprint name, and I chose the right active sprint, and I want it to be updated every 15 minutes. Then I hit save. So now it's telling me for my current sprint, I have 7 days remaining, which is, for me, it's nice because in the morning, when I'm showing my team, okay, we have 5 days remaining to this, it's going to start counting down, right? as the days are going towards you meeting, closing the sprint, it's going to start counting down. So right now it's telling us 7 days remaining for this active particular sprint. So the next gadget I'm going to add here, it's going to be the sprint health. And I'll do the sprint health first before the rundown chart, because the sprint health tool is that just one. I think I showed you also this in my last dashboard creation board, but I just want to ensure that we have everything you will need in this video, because a lot of people have been asking me, can you just create one dashboard of list of all the metrics I will need as a Scrum Master that can help make my day easy? So that's why I'm doing this video actually. So I hit add for the sprint health gadget. And remember, sometimes at work, for you to actually see all these options, you have to load all gadgets. I think it's important for me to say this because I know sometimes people will search and they'll be like, oh, it's not coming up, it's not coming up. But you have to ensure that you click on load all gadgets, because if you load all the gadgets, then you can now search what you want. So now I'm going to choose add the sprint health gadget. And it's doing the same thing like the other. It's asking me what board do I want. And in the same case too, I also want the Aisha Scrum board. And it's asking me, do I show board names? I can choose yes. Do I show sprint name? Yes. Do I show assignee? I can choose yes if I want to show the people that are assigned, like who is working on what, in your team. Then the sprints, I can click on the drop-down arrow and choose AIS sprints, so which is my current active sprints. And for the same thing with the other, I'm going to update every 15 minutes. Click updates. So now that I've ensured that I have my right board, right? I want to show the board name on top of the gadget, right? I want to show the sprint name for transparency, and also show assignee, like who is working on what in my board. And I ensure that I have the right sprint. Then I also want to update this every 15 minutes. All right, so then I hit save. Ta-da! So now the beautiful thing now you'll see now I have my board. It's also summarized everything, my current sprint. So this is the board name, overall sprint progress. It's even telling me up here, this is 7 days left. Currently I have 1 story points in to do. The gray is to do, the yellow is in progress, and the green is done. And I showed you all this in my last video. And that's 12 story points. Remember, this is not the issue count. Basically, it's not counting the issue. This is very important to know that this is the story points. It's counting story points, and the time that I've elapsed. So I've already spent 24% from my current sprint. And I have, let me do the math. I already spent 24% for this sprint. I already spent 24% for this sprint. I have 76% left for this sprint. So then 32% of the work already being completed. So means like almost quarter, not much. As we can see, we still have a lot of stuff in progress. And so far, we have 0 scope change. Basically, I did not add or remove stuff from the sprints. Remember, you can add a 0 story point to your sprints. The scope change will not happen. Why is that? Look back to my burn down chart video, right? Because I also go over what are factors and what are things that can affect the scope change in a burn down chart. One of them being that if you add a story point, not the issue with a 0, or not even adding the issue without estimate, it's not going to create that scope change. The only time you see that scope change if you actually add a story points number. So when you add a story points number, and that's where this number gonna change. And when you remove or reduce a story points number, it's gonna create a scope change. It's also telling me that currently I have 2 tickets in my board that's the highest priority. 2 tickets that's highest priority that we all have to ensure that we are working on. And the 0 flag, that means that I usually flag issue in my board if there's issues, or if it's a blocker, or I have to follow up with a developer, I have to follow up with a dependency. I'll always flag those tickets. And if it's flagged, this is going to show how many tickets that's flagged. It's going to give you like a number. And at the bottom, it's telling me our assignee, like the people that are working on what, who is working on this in this current sprint. All their names going to show here. So that's the health gadgets. So the next thing I'm going to add is the burn down chart. I can add the burn down chart. And I hit add. And to do the burn down chart is the same thing also, right? I have to ensure I'm picking the right board. If you notice, this is all the pattern. And it's asking me if I want to show the board name, and I'll choose the board name. It's asking me what sprint do I want, which is my current sprint that's open. Show sprint name. Yes, I like to show sprint name. The interval. I'll click on that. And I want to refresh it every 15 minutes. But you have other options, right? You have 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. I want to refresh mine for every 15 minutes. So in case of any changes, I'm able to get that quick notice. And I hit save. So automatically, it shows me my my burn down chart, right? And if you are all not familiar on how to interpret a burn down chart or how to read a burn down chart, please refer back to my burn down chart video. I really took my time and explained every single line and every single graph going up and down, how it's interpreted. If you watch that video, you will know exactly what's going on here. And if you're looking at this, the current board, right? We are currently in schedule, right? So this is the line that's saying that currently, this is where Jira stated that we should be burning down our work. We're already within schedule, which is very nice. So that's that for the burn down chart. So the next thing I'm going to show is another thing that I've used in my team that's been very helpful for releases and also for bringing true visibility who is working on what. I know like velocity, I usually don't add velocity here. I know for some team members, they will add velocity because I feel like velocity, that's something that I will get at the end of the sprint. It will show me. But this is the one I know I need for active sprints. A sprint that's actually active. So another one I'm going to be adding is the two-dimensional filter statistic. I like this one because it's another quick view where I can see the overall progress of the team and who is working on what. So in this two-dimensional filter statistic, and that's where the queries that we created, if you all recall, we created our queries for the active sprint. And that's why it's going to be so important for this, because we're going to need the queries in order for us to be able to show our active sprint progress. So the first space we have at the top is asking for the saved filter, meaning that the saved filter that are already saved, right? Because that's the first thing we did prior to even starting this. So then I'll go to Aisha Tech Sprint because that's the filter I saved for the current active open sprint. So please, if you save in your filter, try to put it in a name that you remember, right? It's very, very important. So then it has the x-axis and it has the y-axis, you know. And the x-axis, I want to have status. And we have a lot of multiple things we can put there, depending on what you're looking for. You know, you can put issue types, you can even add label. Maybe you have like critical item in your team that you want to work on. You can use priority, like what are the priorities in the board? Or you can also use, if you're working with different projects, you can use that. But for me, what's so important for me to see quickly in one glance, in one slide, is the status, right? I want to see what's the status so I can know how to follow up in that. Especially if the days in our sprints, like it's going down, right? So that's why I like to use the status. And for the y-axis, I'm going to come in and leave it as assignee, like who is working on what. Because that's going to be important for me when it comes to follow up, if I have to follow up with anyone. And then sort by, I'm going to leave it by natural or total. I want to keep it at natural. And it's asking our sorting direction. I'm going to keep it ascending. I'm not going to change that to ascending. Let's say you have a lot of people in your team. You can put 5, 6, based on the number of people in your team. Let's say I have 10 people here. I just want to be sorted by 10. Don't have more than 10 people in this view. And you see going back again to update every 15 minutes, which is what I like, right? And it's very important to know that this filter, ensure you have the right filter, because if you do not, it's not going to give you the right data. All right. So now I want to see the status. I want to see the assignee. And if you click on the drop down there too, there's a different one you can choose. depending on what you're looking for. If you're working on a safe, on a safe sprint, you can use sprint, issue type, links, all of that is different thing you can use based on what you want. But for me, what I want is the status and assignee. Then I hit save. And when I hit save, ta-da! So now it's telling me currently in my board what I have. I have this task is in to do. It's telling me at the top here, these are the assignee, right? In my y-axis here. This is my assignee, and this is the current developer, and that's the other developer, and this is the other developer. And currently, most of these developer, their status of what they're working on is all 0. They had 0 to do, 0 in progress, and 0 done. And also, this is the to-do. That means the status in progress and done. And depending on how you configure your board, I'm sure all of those two are going to show in the status based on how you saved it in your Jira or Active Sprint board looks like. And so currently, total unique issues, right? We have 1 unique issues, and we have 2 that's in progress, and we have 2 that's done. And remember, in this case, it's counting issues, right? The type, basically the product backlog item you have in your active sprint. It's not counting story points, right? Unlike with the health gadget, it's counting the story points, right? And here it's counting the issues, like how many numbers of issues you have, and it's showing who is working on what. It's another perfect thing you can use, especially like if you're doing sprint planning and you want to see like, okay, how many issues other people are working on, and just to ensure that it's fair, right, within the team, not just one person doing almost all the work and the other team member not doing as much work, you know. But then again, sometimes one issue can be like of almost a 5 or 8 story points, right? One issue can be so complex that one person have to work on it. So that's why also you have to be cautious when you're counting issue, but always will focus on the story points, the efforts, and the complexity, right? When the people are being assigned their tasks. So that's that. So the last one I'm going to add in here so that can help us all and help everyone is the release roadmap. Because I plan to show you all how to track release on Jira and how to create fixed version and how to link fixed version to stories. That's like going to be coming from my upcoming videos. After I have the Jira roadmap, I'm going to click it. And remember with this Jira roadmap, it's focused on the versions, meaning release, because Jira calls it version. And for me to do that, it's showing me here Jira roadmap. And my goal is to track my release. So have in my one board where I can see the progress on the releases in the board. So I have currently, it's telling me all the projects I have in here. I don't want to click. You can click on, I don't want to click on just one project, all of it. I don't want to click on all the projects in my Jira. That's not what I'm doing. But maybe if you're working in one company and you are responsible for tracking all the projects, then I can see you doing that. But in my case, I want to choose the SM Scrum Master project. So I'm going to choose my project of Scrum Master. That's the project I want to ensure that I choose. And to choose that, if you see it shows you all of the projects, to choose that, you just click on it. It's going to highlight it. And it's just basically one click. And when you do your one click, it's going to highlight the project you want. Remember, I want to track the release in my project. And release is not specific to only one sprint. You see this sometimes you'll be working on a release that's for 2 sprints, right? So that's why I'm not connecting it to just a sprint, but instead I want to connect it to my project. And with that, I'm going to connect this to my Scrum Master project. And then it's asking me for the days I can go on and add. Like 30 days, periods to cover in days, like periods I want to cover for this release. I want to do for 30 days because I know like in a month, hopefully we can complete this release, and I'm going to be tracking it before we get to that month. So I'm going to put 30. Number of results to display, the maximum is 50, depending how many things you have in your release, right? Maybe I'm going to put like 20. So the number of results to display in this release, in case if you have like multiple releases in your board that you've created. Remember those multiple fixed versions you've created. In the interval, I want to refresh it. I want to refresh it always for either 15, 30, 1 hour, 2 hours. I'll refresh it for every 15 minutes. And with that, I'm going to hit save. And ta-da! So now that I've saved it, now it's showing me currently in my progress of my current release. It's telling me that this is my release, volume 1.1. It was due for October 26th. And it's even red because, right, that's already been passed. But in this particular release, we had like green resolved issue. It says 83% of the issue was resolved, and which was 5 issues, meaning 5 product backlog item. I don't know which, if it's a story or a bug that was linked to this release. And basically 83% of them is done. And 1%, I mean 17%, which is 1 issue. So basically we had like 6 issues that was connected to this release. If you see here, it says 5 of the 6 issues have been resolved. So we had 6 total issues in this fixed version, volume 1.1. And basically this was the due date for this release. And the release, we solved 5 out of the 6 issue. And the green meaning the ones that were completed, 83% of them was completed, basically the 5 issues. And the red is only 1 that was not done by these due dates, right? And that's like basically how many percentage is showing us? So 17% that was not completed. And remember, this is just counting the issue, not story points. It's issue, regardless of the bug, a task, story. So you're just counting all the issues that was linked to this fixed version, which I plan to show you all in my next video, how to create, release, and all of that. And this is the other fixed version we have. We have a volume 1.1. We also have V 1.0. These are 2 different releases. And for this release, we had 7 of this, all of the issues that was linked to this release was completed. So that's why we have a green, 100% completion. And we have the date here that we plan to release this issue. So it's very nice to just look at this in one glance, so we can also see our release that we plan to do in the sprint or in the project. And if you have multiple fixed version, I already have that can have up to 20. You can have multiple too. It's going to show all the way here. And if this view, you don't like this view, you can always come here and change the layout, right? And I know for me, I like to add this. Like I just click and drag. For me to put it in the other side, I just have to click and drag and move it to the other side. So now it's showing me that. And release is too far away. This is something we can definitely put in the bottom. This is something I can definitely put in the bottom. And the sprint health, I move the sprint head at the top because that's something I can just look at and it will give me like a quick glance. And to do that, you just click and drag. And days remaining in the sprint, that's something I plan to have in this layer. Go X that so I can get the full view. And let me just go into the days remaining in the sprint. Click and drag it. And I put it up there. And put this. Click and drag it and put up there. And the burn down chart I put right up here. So I can also do a quick view to see a quick progress on the dashboard. I also have my health gadget at the top here. Days remaining in the sprint, I have my burn down chart. And in case of any releases, how to track all of them. So if you've been finding this content valuable, please like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you all watching. Thank you all for taking your time to watch this dashboard video that you will need for a Scrum Master. That you can click on one glance. You can see basically everything you will need to track your whole progress in your Jira board without having to quickly configuring back and forth. If you use the basic JQL on choosing a particular active sprint, sometimes for you to even update this, let's say the new sprint start, you might have to go back there and choose that active sprint, the new sprint's name. You have to do that. But if you choose the previous one that I've created, the advanced one that shows open sprint, that one will automatically update because that's just the queries for all open sprints. It wasn't particular to a sprint's name. So it's important for me to say that because you might say, oh, Aisha, I updated my board. So what happened next sprint? So next point, if you use that queries for this two-dimensional, you have to like go back and adjust that. Or you can choose the open one and update that for sure. In my next video, I'm going to show you all how to create fixed version and also how to track and link fixed versions to user stories or any product backlog item. And if you're interested in mentorship, do not hesitate to call me at 484-767-1979. You can also email me at admin@aishascrumtech.com. Thank you all. I truly appreciate you all for watching and see you all again next time.